In the name of Allah, the most beneficent, the most merciful, I am Muhammad Asif Chaudhary. Today, I will discuss Pakistan's fiscal challenges and tax reform agenda. What should be the agenda, and I will propose some suggestions and why Pakistan is collecting low taxes and what are the fiscal problems which we can face in the future. First of all, in context of global and domestic pressures, what are the global and domestic pressures? That is the developing countries facing a global trade and tariff shocks. It is the problem of all the developing countries because when the developed countries impose the tariff, trade and tariff shocks to the developing countries, they are in problems due to their trade deficit and problems. And Pakistan must strengthen domestic fiscal system for that purpose because we are observing the tariff and trade shocks from the developed world. So we have to develop our domestic fiscal systems so that we may strengthen our fiscal system. Growing population, climate vulnerabilities and structural constraints are the problems because our population is growing day by day and we are have a climate challenges and we have a structural constraints being a developing country. These are the problems for Pakistan to develop its fiscal situations. Pakistan's fiscal pressure is due to population to reach 266 millions by 2027. We will, as the population is increasing day by day, it will reach up to 266 million up to 2027, and investment to GDP at only 13.8%. Public investment is only 2.9%. That is very low as compared to the other our nearby countries, our neighbor countries. It's very low. And climate adoption needs $40 to 50 billion, which are urgently needed because we are facing the problems of the environment. Like you feel that there are a very fog position in our cities is very crucial, and we have to do something for environment, which needed up to 40 to 50 billion rupees urgently. And our debt servicing is 46.7% of federal budget. Whichever we collect in our federal budget, we have to pay our debt services. It is around 50%, 46.7 mean near about half of our federal collection goes to for the debt services. That is the major problem for us as a fiscal problem. Low tax effort and structural weaknesses, which are, as you know, the tax to GDP ratio stagnant at 9.8%, but increasing in financial year it is 10.3%, which is very low because it should at least be 15% for the country like us. We should have to should have at least 15% tax to GDP ratio, and revenue to GDP ratio is above 15%, but efficiencies remain low. It should also be increases. The IMF and World Bank recommended the minimum 15% of tax to GDP growth. As per the financial institutions like IMF and World Bank, they recommended that for a country for survival, they should at least 15% of the tax to GDP ratio, but we have only 10% in 25. Otherwise, 9.8% was stagnant from previous many years. Causes of low tax collection. Why we are collecting a low tax? We have a potential to collect more taxes, but we collect low taxes. Why? Because narrow tax base, only 5.8 million filers. When we are talking about our population, that is 266 million, and the filer is only 5.8 million. I think very low percentage, only 2% of the total population, up to 2% of the total population are filing their returns. Either they are depositing tax or not, but they are filing their. Most of them are in millions, which are did not paying a single penny of taxes. They file their nil returns. And high informality, around 60% of GDP is undocumented. Our economy, around 60% of the GDP is undocumented economy, which is the main problem. We cannot collect proper taxes due to undocumentation of the problem. That is very big problem. And regressive tax structures relying on GST and excise is also a problem. Tax system should be progressive, that the persons who earn more should pay more tax as per the theory of taxation, but our system is regressive. We only rely on GST and excise, not the direct taxes rather than indirect taxes. And federal and provincial fragmentation and weak cooperations, because there is a lot of taxes of the provincial and federal. There is no there is a cooperation between them, that they can help out for the collection of taxes and to reduce the avoidance of taxes between the provinces and the federation. And a provincial revenue gap is due to that. As we think about agriculture, now the Punjab government has increased the tax rate on agriculture in March 2025, which was the exemption up to 6, and then it increases at the rate of different slab rates, progressive rate. With the increase of the income, the tax rate will be increased. But in spite of that, the agriculture 20% of GDP, but collection is less than 0.1% of the tax revenue. And the agriculture income tax average only $3 per acre is the income tax paid to the federal, because the provincial authorities are collecting tax from the agriculturalists. Therefore, there is no increase in federal. It will be increase the revenue of the provinces. And underdeveloped taxation on property services, because the property services is now in depression due to the more taxes on different stages of the transfer of the properties, and there is not a good situation nowadays for property services, but it can be increased and it can be helped by documented. Need to integrate the agriculture, real estate, and the real estate sector should be integrated, and they should pay proper taxes, because most of the peoples are involved in filing system, and they did not transfer their properties. They doing the work in filing and farm systems and did not pay a penny of tax, but there is a lot of businesses done in the property sectors. And the caretaker government insights are with the highlighted the system rigidity with FBR, that rigidity should be reduced, and the policy and propose the separation of tax policy and administration, because the policy maker should be the other persons and the tax administration should be the other people, so that they can enforce only, but the policy should make a policy as per the requirement of the day, but it is not yet separated. And strengthen the enforcement without taxpayer harassment, because when enforcement is strengthened, the harassment of the taxpayer increases. So strength of the enforcement without taxpayer harassment is the need of the time. And shift import revenue collection to the customs, because the total import is cleared by the custom authorities, and the collection on the taxation of import side, that is the customs duty, income tax, and sales tax are collected by the customs. And what are the key reforms in finance act 2025. The Finance Act 2025, the digitalization of POS, point of sales integration, NADRA, data sharings, and are the key reforms in Finance Act 2025, and record 5.9 million filing, 18% increase. It's due to this process, the Act of 2025, the increase in filing, that is the 18% from previous year, and operationalization of tax policy office. Tax policy office is operationalized now, and it is separated from the administration, and bringing agriculture, retail, and real estate into the tax net for increasing the net of the taxation. And strengthening of the compliance, what has to be done for strengthening of the compliance? Higher withholding rate taxes from non-filer tax, already it is higher, but it should be increased so that every non-filer should be come into the net and file their returns to increase the documentation of the economy. And the strict documentation of property transaction is necessary, and it is the need of the time. Also, the simplification of the tax code, remove of the exemptions. There are a lot of exemptions, that exemptions should be removed, and every person who is earning should pay taxes. And the potential wealth taxes for the high net worth individuals, because the basic theory of the taxation is the persons who who earns more will pay more taxes. Wealthy people should pay the taxes. So the wealth is an important aspect on which the tax can be collected. Aligning of tax policy with development goals is also the need of the time, that the use of physical tools to promote the education and health, because when the health and education will not be promoted, the people will think that why will we pay taxes? And if the education and health facilities are promoted, the people will throw that the government is caring us and we should pay the taxes. So it is the time, need of the time. And encouraging the green investment and climate resilience, because the climate situation is very dangerous and we have a lot of money to improve these changes. Every person should think about it and encourage the green investment. And gender sensitive taxation to empower the women, because when the women will be empowered, the 50% of the population will be come into the circle and they will earn more and pay the taxes. So like Bangladesh, the women should be empowered for working style and etc. Target incentive for underdeveloped regions, as the which regions are underdeveloped, that should be developed to achieve the target. It is reforms beyond the revenue mobilization are that improve the public expenditure efficiency. When we expend the money of the people who pay the taxes and they are not efficiently expended, they expended on the things which are not productive for the people, then they discourage and did not try to pay the taxes. So improve the public expenditure efficiency. And civil services, state-owned enterprises, and pension reform is the requirement of the time. They should be also improved, and strengthening the governance, transparency, and accountability is also the time, because the corrupt people should be punished and the tax money should not be wasted. It should be used for the productive of the welfare of the people and the productive investment of the country. And if we the conclusion and restoring of the social contracts are that the taxation reflect the national priorities and values, and the link tax compliance to improve the public services, and need block the leadership to confront elite captured, so that the bold leadership can capture the elite and take more taxes. It is the need of the time. Aims for the fair, efficient, and transparent tax system is also the need of the time. That transparency will encourage the collection of the country. Thank you very much for question and discussion. You can comment on comment box, or if you have any relevant question that you can ask me from my cell number, you can call. I think you understand all the things which I want to explain before you. If you understand it, I hope that you will share it, like it, and subscribe it, so that the other peoples may also understand it. Have a nice day and remain happy wherever you live. Thank you very much.